Good morning, everybody. Bon dia, bon dia. Oh, it is September and it is such a relief. I always get laughed at because I'm like, it's September, it's the end of summer, and we know it's still going to be pretty hot this afternoon, but it just feels different. There's a quote by Georgia O'Keeffe. She says something like, I've done nothing all summer but wait for myself to become myself again, and that is what I feel like, and I feel like I've come back to life. Today we're just waiting on the paint delivery to carry on painting the cabin. It should arrive this afternoon, fingers crossed, so we'll be getting on to that either this evening or tomorrow. But we are now down at the driveway area. It is a big mess down here. We have a lot of building materials and the pallets, and the vines are going a bit crazy, so we're going to do a bit of a tidy up here this morning whilst we're waiting. Yeah, just see how far we get with. I'll turn you around so you can see what we're dealing with. So we have a big pile of pallets. Iwan has an idea of cutting them to make some boards that we're going to use to, what's the word?
What I'm going to
Clad.
do, is cut them up into all of the individual parts and then put them in a wheelbarrow, take them up, because we'll be able to take a lot more pallets.
Yeah.
And the idea is to clad the south wall of the cabin with pallet wood.
Yeah, so carrying all the pallets up there is hard work, so we're thinking if we cut them here. These vines are going crazy, they're growing all into the shade cloth. It's hard to get in the car. Ignore how dusty our car is. Though not our car, we still have a hire car. We're not talking about cars, it's too stressful. Yeah, there's building blocks. There's just a big mess. So
yeah, the fun part is going to be these blocks, because there's an awful lot of wasps' nest.
Yeah.
And there's a wasp's nest in the tarp as well.
Lovely wasps.
So I wonder whether we attack some of that first.
Yeah.
Because we'll be a bit sleepy. Right. You guys can't see this tarp, but there is at least one pretty sizable wasp's nest in it. But we don't know where it is. And there's too much chaos here for us to go anywhere backwards, because we'll just hurt ourselves. So what I think we need to do is we both need to grab a bit, and then we need to try and jump over here. There's a stream here, and also the vines. And then I think we need to run. So I'm going to go over here.
Okay.
Right, ready? We have to do this quickly.
Okay.
Go.
I don't see them.
Not yet. Okay, ready? Go. Diogo loving it. No, I think we might be good.
Awesome.
Unless we left it there, of course.
Yeah, Frankie's about to get stung.
Yeah. Okay, one bit of danger down.
Is there something under there, sausage?
So anybody that has a dachshund will know this particular pose. Sausage, you ready? Couple of quick hits. That's about it, mate.
Bowl hole.
Okay, remember, beware.
Yeah.
So far, so good. So it's the bottom ones down that'll be the
danger zones.
straight away. First one. Ooh, it's got like green on it.
Wow.
That's where the danger starts.
Right. Attached to this one, aren't they? I'm just gonna. Oh, there's another one on that. Whee.
Frankie, come on, come on, come on.
Sorry, waspies.
Yeah, because they'll have to move now because
They're
birds will get them.
exposed.
Half of the reason that this is a problem is because the later in the season they get really aggressive.
Yeah.
I'll just start dive bombing you. So the plan for this morning, more or less, is to get this driveway tidied up and chop some pallets up and get some order to the place. Another job we need to get done before winter is to get more sand brushed into the driveway. Well, before the rain comes.
Gonna really have to do something about down here, aren't we?
Yeah, the whole thing needs to come down, unfortunately. It feels like, it looks almost dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Right guys, I'm going to chop up some pallets. Recommendation from you guys, and also from Nick, was to get one of these reciprocating saws. And I must say, it's been a very good investment. Thank you very much for the advice. Now, I've tried taking a pallet apart with a pry bar or crowbar, and it wasn't exactly easy, and a couple of the panels split. So from having done it with the reciprocating saw, I would definitely say it's the easiest way to do it and a worthy investment. But what you do need is a slightly longer blade and one that's good enough for cutting metal. I don't know how Europeans deal with these plugs on a daily basis, I'm telling you. We are slightly concerned about sparks from cutting the nails. I'm thinking that because they're completely wrapped up in there shouldn't be any sparks. But we have a hose just there, just in case. One down. It's not ideal having it upright on here, is it?
We're like leaning angled on that wall. On this wall.
Yeah, we could try that, couldn't we? Let's try that. Nice.
"36 in this one."
Yeah, you can tell.
So we just stopped for a quick coffee break and we're getting back to it. It's a bit hot in the sun, but there are a lot of lovely clouds about, so we're going to keep going. This is wood we've had sat out all summer drying. It's weird to be already thinking about firewood, but it goes very quickly from summer to winter here. So I'm getting that under the lean-to, which we will eventually be taking down. It's very dodgy looking, but it's kind of better to have it than to not have it, because it's an area of shade and rain protection. So anyway, it's really nice to be getting this area clear, because this is what we come home to, and feels like we're coming home to a building site, which we kind of are, but it's nice to make it a bit nicer. A quick thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which is Bottle, who make eco-friendly water bottles. With the hot Portuguese summers we get here, staying hydrated is super important, and we've been loving these bottles because they are insulated, and also being made from stainless steel, we don't need to worry about them being left out in the scorching sun. They can keep drinks ice cold for up to 24 hours or hot for up to 12 hours. I have their Magic Cube bottle, which comes in lots of cute colours and has an easy flip up straw, and Iwan has the Hydro X, which has a dual purpose lid, so you can either use the straw or sip straight from the bottle. It also has this handy little storage space at the bottom that you could keep any tablets or vitamins in, or remove the little box and keep your keys inside, or anything that you like. If you're looking for a new water bottle that can keep your water ice cold or your coffee hot, then check out the link in our description below, and thank you to Bottle for sponsoring today's video and keeping our water cold. So I'll see if I can show you guys. We get asked a bit about getting a road up to the house and why we haven't done that, and the main reason is we have these ditches that go around this field, which works really well for them not flooding, but it means there's a huge hole here, so the car can't drive over this. We could just fill it in, but we don't want to. We want to maintain its ability to take away the water to stop flooding, so it's a much bigger job than just simply doing it. I think it would be wise for us to eventually do that, but currently we don't, and that's why we have to carry everything up to the house, and then also just past the well it's the same situation. So
well, we're young enough and fit enough.
Yeah, keeps us fit doing this right now. Stripey.
So that's one pallet.
If you guys have any cool ideas of what we can do with these blocks, let us know.
So in case any of you are wondering why pallet wood, a 2 metre stretch of this in the shop of these planks is about 12-13 euros, and this whole pallet was 6. So obviously it has nails and it has splits and it has knots, but we're going to try and polish them out as best we can. Not sure what to do about the nails currently, whether to leave them in or take them out or cut them off and make the plank smaller, because they may obviously rust depending on the sealant, which might look dirty. But we'll see. We've got some teak oil, some varnish, and another kind of like treater for exterior wood. So we're going to give them all a go, give them some sanding, and then we'll make a decision on which one we're going to go with. And hopefully we've got a paint delivery arriving any minute.
So we went out this afternoon and picked up the paint, but I've managed to convince Iwan that we should paint in the morning instead so that I can get in the garden. And I've also convinced him to hang up the washing so that I can garden. So we'll be painting in the morning, and I'm going to go down because it's a lovely evening. It's not too hot. So one of the things I really want to do in the garden is this woven fence that a few of you will have watched me work on is kind of getting a bit loose, and I'm not exactly happy with how it's like holding a shape in the garden, if that makes any sense. So I'm thinking I'm going to deconstruct it and rebuild it, because I've obviously got all the pieces for it now, and because we're using a sprinkler in the garden, it kind of like this corner doesn't really get any water, so I was thinking I would make it curve like that, and I'm not really sure what the best posts are for it. These are too tall anyway, but maybe I'll just chop them off, I don't know. I'm going to deconstruct it first though. And I'm hoping, because I've got all the sticks already, the reconstruction should be quite fast. I hope it's not one of those jobs I'm going to regret starting, but it just hasn't come out quite how I would like it to be. And every day I walk past it, I think it could be better. These tomatoes just were planted very haphazardly and they're not thriving. Oh my goodness. There are so many socks in this garden. For those of you that don't know, Frankie, our sausage dog, has an obsession with burying socks. I've actually been working on a kid's book about her burying socks in the garden. I've just finished the first script draft and I want to illustrate it, but she's crazy. I don't think this one is going to be savable. It's got a lot of holes in. This one has started rooting itself. Oh, Joao. The spine started growing. So one thing I didn't like about the original one is that all these posts are different and it just kind of makes it look a bit weird. And I think some of them were too weak to hold the pressure of the fence. So it's whether I chop these into, well, I think I'll just go half. And then, will I go that high? Yeah, I guess I will. And get rid of this ugly metal one. Excuse me. Please leave it. I have to get weaving before Diogo steals all my sticks. You can have one of these. Look, Dodo. Maybe one of these. What's this one? Yes. I'm immediately regretting my life choices. It's going to be great. It's going to be worth it. It's going to look so much better. Poor nasturtium here died because of the lack of water. So I need to get these out without breaking them, and then I need to work out how best to cut them. Well, I think that means this job will not be getting done until the rains come. I'm going to have to store these all somewhere. And has shown me how dry the garden is, and I really need to water it. Some of them split a little bit like this, but because it's not, the skin isn't broken, it's still good to eat. But they won't store so good. You have to eat them whilst in the garden. The corn is all drying. I'm hoping that I can save it to make popcorn. I don't know if this is the best way, so I need to go and Google whether I should be leaving it on the plant or drying it off the plant. Plus the ants are starting to get to them. These figs are just amazing. I've been having them every morning for breakfast. This one's a bit overripe. They taste like honey. And there's more than we could ever eat here. So the weather this year has been really unusual, and a lot of the trees are struggling. All the vines in the whole region, all the grapes, about 80% of them have all shriveled up because of the rain happening at the wrong time. And this pear tree, this big old beautiful pear tree, dropped all of its leaves, and it had about 6 pears on it, and we were so worried that it was going to die. And then after it dropped them all, it grew a load of new leaves. And now, very strangely, it's in blossom. That is how confusing the weather has been this year. The pear tree is blossoming in September. Well, it was blossoming in August. We also have the wild, I forget what it's called because it's not chamomile, dogweed? Something like that. Starting to come out as well. That's how I always get soaked by the sprinkler. Not a bad basket. Good morning. We are painting today. We're going to start with this south-facing wall, which hasn't had any paint on it yet. This is the paint we're using. It's for wood and it's waterproof, and it has a, I can't remember what it's called. There's an ingredient in it which we need that protects the wood. So I'm going to go put the tape in at the top so I can cut in, and Iwan will be getting on to doing the rolling.
Yeah.
Tea? Can you pass me those scissors? They're just here. Diolch yn fawr.
Yeah. So we had a lot of great comments in the last video about the paint that we're using and how we're waterproofing the walls. So this paint is a polymer resin based paint. So it dries almost like plastic. So it creates a very, very good seal. So obviously we need to do more layers. I think in an ideal world we would do 3, but we're going to go with 2, see what it looks like, and then if we feel like we need a 3rd, then we'll go for the 3rd. So try and get this done before it gets too hot. Joao! Leave him alone.
No, he's really beating up Simao.
Leave him alone. Simao, stay here. It's okay.
Yeah.
Two quick things. Yes, we will be installing windows at a later date. And secondly, if you've asked a question about pallets in the comments, check your replies. It's a big boy. It's a big fire plane coming over. Check the app. Another one.
This is getting very boring, so I imagine it's getting very boring for you guys, so I won't make you watch any more painting.
Right then, that's us finished painting for this morning. We've managed to put the first layer on the south facing wall and then the second layer on the other three. So the south facing wall is obviously going to be in full sun for the rest of the day now, so we're going to leave it until most likely tomorrow morning. But before it gets too hot today, we're going to fill the car full of some rubbish and have a good clean up. Some of the stuff that we cleaned from the driveway earlier. We need to pick up some post and then get onto some more jobs. Carissa's in like spring cleaning mood. It's one of those funny things with Portugal is after summer, once the rains come back, we've not quite had the rains yet, but it kind of feels like a second spring because everything comes back to life and even the people come back to life with the drop of temperature. So I think that's happened to Carissa before it's happened to me. So yeah, we'll crack on. Good afternoon, everybody. It's very warm. It's not supposed to be warm, but we are expecting it. So what I am doing is I have a few offcuts from when we were building the walls. So I'm going to sand up the rest of them so that we can have a selection of different finishes and therefore make a sound decision on what colour and finish we want on the cabin. I also need to work out what to do about these nails. So whether to just cut off the tops of where the heads are, because on this one I don't know how well you can see. So you've got two little ones there, but they're just tiny little silver bits. And whether or not, when fully varnished, they would not rust. And if they were to rust, how that would look. So many unknowns. This is one of those jobs where you really wish you had a workbench and a shed. Although the shed would be boiling hot inside anyway. So I'm going to get sanding. So we have 100% invisible varnish, waterproof. We have exterior wood Agua Protect, which is whatever colour that is, Sapelli Mogno. And then we have some teak oil, which isn't so good at protecting from water, but is good at protecting from the sun and bugs and whatnot. So I guess we'd have to use that with the varnish anyway. Anybody else love the smell of wood oil? It reminds me of my dad and tight workshops and stuff. So uncomfortable. Right then, so that's with stain, without stain, except for a few thumb marks, not bad. So now I'm going to put some external varnish over all of it. Varnish has got one of those smells as well, hasn't it? Interestingly, it's brought the black up around the screws and the nails quite a lot, but the stain has really brought the grain out. Which one are you going for? Leave us one in the comments. But now we'll try this other stuff just in case, because it has got colour and protector in one. So, fortunately this is all stuff we've got lying about from protecting other things in the past, so it's quite handy to experiment with. This has a very strange colour to it, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't dry this colour. So I think just by taking these three, I think it's a fairly easy decision, right? At least I think I know what you're all going to say. I think I'm going to say the same thing. The dark is still quite nice, isn't it? So personally, I think that one. I gave this a little bit of a wipe here just to see whether or not it was more stain or paint, and it seems to be more paint. So yeah, I think that's more the true representation of the colour rather than that. But with this colour we could always add a second layer of or a second soaking of the tea coil before putting the varnish on top. And then, as you can see, other than kind of wetting the rust, this pretty much is just invisible. Hasn't really done anything to the grain like this has. So let us know in the comments what you think. I think I've got an idea, but interested to know nonetheless.
My tomatillos cleaned because they get really sticky. Okay, I'm going to pick a few of these chilies. Wait, dropped one. Okay, so I'm going to make some salsa verde with the tomatillos I picked yesterday. We have purple ones. I think traditionally they're green, but these have grown really, really, really well this year. They always have like a stickiness to them, so I've given them a little wash. And a lot of the recipes say to cook them, but I've been doing it raw and it's really delicious. Iwan's making a rice dish for dinner tonight, so this is super nice with rice. So I'm just chopping them in half and putting them in this blender. Cats are fighting. I think you would use different chilies normally. These peri peri ones are not that spicy. I'm going to put them in with the seeds in. Hopefully that's not a mistake. One of the tiny onions I grew, because you don't need too much onion. I did get some big ones, but some are small. And then homegrown garlic. This is mostly homegrown, apart from the corianders from the supermarket, because my seeds are not growing this year. Don't know why. Do 2 biggish cloves. And then these are homegrown coriander seeds. Salt, some pepper, lemon juice. I think traditionally you would use lime as well, but we don't have any limes, and lemon works great too. And just some fresh coriander too. I've also done this with a bit of parsley, but I like it best with coriander. And that's it. And it's super delicious. Tomatillos are a very strange vegetable, but like this, they're super yum. Oh, these chilies are a bit spicy. We'll have that for dinner. So this is my first year growing corn, and definitely left it too long on the plant. So I'm going to try and dry it as popcorn, and I just googled and it says it's better to take it off the plant to dry for that, and I guess I can use it as seed as well. Yeah, I'm proud that I grew corn this year. Lots of bugs in it. There was a huge locust, some ladybirds, earwigs of course, some are really small. Oh, these are still really fresh actually. These can be eaten. I need to boil them. So sweet sausage. And we need some more tomatillo recipes because there are hundreds of them down there, sausage. Don't think you'll like it.